Welcome back to the D4 channel, and today we'll be doing the spoiler review of Andor episode 10. So if you haven't seen Andor episode 10, leave now because this is a spoiler review.
We need to go tomorrow. Tomorrow. You heard me? Where? Anywhere. It has to be tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Alright, so I'm kind of going to include episode 9 as well in this. We didn't do a spoiler review for episode 9, but it is very important to what happened in episode. Again, if you haven't seen episode 9 by now, I don't know what you're doing. Maybe you're that busy, but there will be spoilers also for episode 9. But in episode 9, we get more of Cassian in the prison, and we learned that they wiped out an entire floor of prisoners because they learned that the prisoners were being recycled once their quote-unquote shifts are over, once their term is over, once they serve their time, their sentence, they go back to prison. So in order to keep everybody quiet, they wipe out an entire floor on that prison in Narkina 5, and so they learn about it. And then Andy Serkis, who honestly is now a fan favorite to many of the people watching this show, when Cassian asks him how many men, and he says no more than 12 on each floor, which kicks into episode 10, where they're finally going to do the prison break. Cassian has been chipping away at this like little vent in the machinery. Everyone's on board. Kino again, Kino, excuse me. Kino is again he very much wants to serve his sentence out. He believed that if he serves his sentence, that they'll let him go and then he'll leave everything like this behind him. But Cassian is trying to tell him they don't care about you. They don't care about your sentence. They will use you until you die. You will die in prison. And just to see all the prisoners like unite and rebel against basically the man was so awesome. Kino, again, Andy Serkis' character was so fantastic. Like, he goes from this gruff, like, I just want to do my time, listen to orders, to let's get the hell out of here. And the way the prison riot was shot, like, a lot of people, you spend 3 episodes with these prisoners, and when they're getting gunned down as they're throwing the tools at their oppressors, at the Imperial scum, it's heartbreaking. Like, the few moments you spend with them, you connect with them and you feel it, but they gotta do this. They gotta get out of prison. And Cassian, he keeps telling Kino that they're not listening. We could do this. It has to be today. And eventually they do it, and Kino gives this fantastic speech. He looks so terrified, but he's like, we gotta get out of here. There's only one way out. It's either we die in here or we die for our freedom. And they fight. And of course we know Cassian's not gonna, die in this because, again, he has plot armor. Him and Melchi, who end up being in Rogue One to get the plans for the Death Star on Scarab. But all the other prisoners are fair game, and they get gunned down really quick. But to see like how the prisoners like slowly were realizing what was happening, the night shift and the day shift, and they're going through the levels, and to see the Imperials finally get what's coming to them, oh my God, that was so satisfying. Seeing them all hunkered down behind this door because they are outnumbered. I believe there's like about 1,000 prisoners in this prison, compared to 12 Imperial guards each level. So the prisoners way outnumber the Imperial security. And honestly, like, during the speech, they told them as much. Like, they know they're outnumbered. They are scared, which is one of the greatest lines that Cassian delivered. He says, "Power is never scared," which is a fantastic line. I want a t-shirt of that. But he's correct. They are terrified, which is why they wiped out an entire floor on episode 9 to keep them quiet, because again, the Empire, whether it's because of what Cassian did on Aldhani or just because the Empire is just that bad, these prisoners were never going to leave this prison. They were either going to be transferred somewhere else or recycled in the same prison. So watching them fight for their freedom was so amazing. Kino at the end, because where they have to jump off, he says he can swim, and that made me so heartbroken when Cassian like, come on, he's like, I can't swim, and Cassian gets knocked over the edge, and we don't know what happened to Kino. Like, the prisoner was going crazy, so either he got knocked over the ledge as well, or he stayed behind the other prisoners and he died. I would like to think that even though he couldn't swim, the other prisoners will help him get to land. But Cassian and Melchi we see run into the night free of Narkina 5's prison and whatever's behind them. which is cool. Cause I hope we see more of Cassian and Melchi, because as we know, Melchi's part of the crew on the Rogue One shuttle to Scarab. So it'll be very cool to see a few moments with them before I guess they part ways, or maybe they stick together for a while until they meet Mon Mothma. Now, going to Mon Mothma, she is trying to find ways to get funds to support, of course, the rebellion cause. And I can't remember the person's name, but she has a conversation with this scum that she has to basically negotiate to get, I believe, a $400,000 not loan, but basically of her inheritance, her wealth on Shangela. And I'm learning that Shangela has terrible customs because this guy, he comes as a friend. He's like, I don't want anything from you. And my mom was like, I'd rather pay you. I don't want to owe you anything. And he's like, no, you don't owe me anything. But he does bring up, I do want my 14-year-old son to meet your 13-year-old daughter, because as we know in Chandrilla, apparently, kids very underage get married. We know that Mon Mothma got married to parents, but like when she was 16. So he wants to make his son meet her daughter. Now he doesn't say he wants them to get married. He just says, I just want an introduction between the both of them. And Mon Mothma's like, absolutely not. Even though it is for a good cause, it's for the rebellion, for the freedom of everyone's children. But she cannot sacrifice her own children, despite how bratty that child has been. She says there's absolutely no way this is going to happen. And so I'm very curious to see where she's going to get the money to support, the rebellion cause, her charitable fund, as she puts it. But just seeing the dynamic of what Mon Mothma has to deal with before we know where she gets to in Rogue One, and of course in Return of the Jedi, where she's like a full rebellion leader, it is very interesting to see kind of the political shady know-how she has to manage to get to that point, just to support this good cause against the Empire and against our good boy Papa Sheep Palpatine. But man, this episode 10 was fantastic. Again, I love these arcs where it's like 2 episodes are build up and then the last one is like everything explodes. The drama in this show is peak level. Like, this is quality television, this is quality Star Wars, and I'm quite enjoying episode 10. But that is my spoiler review. Obviously I left some stuff out. It'd be too long if I did that unless I had my partner Beans here. But let me know what you thought of episode 10 of Andor in the comments below. Did you like the prison riot? Did you not like it? Did you enjoy Kino as much as the internet seems to enjoy Kino? And everyone wants Andy Serkis back in comic book form, book form, whatever it is, because his character is great. But let me know what you thought of the episode in the comments below. I give this episode a very strong 9 out of 10. This episode was fantastic. But of course, that is to me, Hamid Mark, and to my counterpart, Daniel Edward. This is the D4 channel, and may the Force be with you.